What it is, YouTube. It's Aciduct, as you may or may not know, and I do apologize for my voice. I just woke up and I'm a little sniffly today, but I wanted to make a video because I haven't made a video in a long time. And we got some news from Forbes.com. 2K18 just had a event where they allowed some of the community members to come out and beta test the game, and Forbes.com has left their feedback on things they like about the games, things they didn't like about the game, and I figured I would go ahead and review some of the stuff that I like, some of the stuff that I don't like. I have read this article already, but I do have it pulled up just because I don't remember the whole thing. But I will be going through and saying some of the stuff that I do like, some of the stuff that I don't like, and also reading some of his comments. Dribbling and defending, this is the one he started with. He said they were the areas of the game that were most problematic. There were too many instances where ball handlers got stuck in unwanted animations, and it often felt as though the defenders had no chance to stay in front of their opponent. Those were the problems in 2K17. He says in 2K18 there are noticeable improvements on both sides. He says the dribble moves were far more intuitive, and there's a bigger gap in skill between the elite ball handlers and the guys who are good, average, and below average. So if you're making an archetype that's going to be an excellent ball handler, you're going to notice it in the game. It's going to come into the game and you're going to notice it. Trust me. The defender still has tools to stay in front of the man with the ball if he moves his feet and anticipates the next move of the ball handler. And reaching for steals is far more costly in this year's game, which is very well needed, because we all know on the park that steals in the game, steals were like constant, constant reaching. Like, that was the problem. So when it comes, hopefully this transpires to park, because that would make park a little bit better, because everybody constantly reaches to try and get steals, so it'll be a lot harder to get steals. It should be noted that I didn't see one ankle breaker sequence at all. I know one of the other developers did, and he tweeted about it, but I'm not sure who it was that actually tweeted about it, so you'll have to go find him. I forget his name, but you'll have to go find him. On the passing, he said this is the area of the game that needs the most tuning. Okay, it did in 2K17, and in 2K18 he says he feels kind of the same way. It got a little bit of a tuning, but it still needs improvement. He said the long passes are successful far too often. He said that the development team told us that it is something that will be fixed the time the game is released next month. So he says that he's able to throw bomb passes down the court with like DeMarcus Cousins or Andre Drummond, and they usually can't do that as well. So there's some issues with passing that are slightly more concerning. The speed in which you are allowed to move the ball around, especially in and out of a dribble move, can be a little slow. We noticed this in 2K17 because we would see a guy, let's say we have the ball up court and we're dribbling, and this we'd be right here at the top key, and this guy would come in to flash and he would beat his man to the rim. Well, when we go to throw the ball, instead of just throwing a bullet pass, our guy decides to slowly wrap around and try and throw it around him, and by that time the defender's back and he can steal the ball. We noticed this a lot in 2K17, and it definitely needs fixed. And hopefully they tune it enough to where we can actually fling the ball around how we like to, instead of it taking forever. There is now precision, or it's like pressure passing is what they call it, I think, to where when passing the ball, if you tap the button, if you tap the player icon, he's gonna throw a slow, easy pass. But if you press that icon and hold it down, he's gonna throw a bullet pass as hard as he can. I don't know if I like that in the game, because I'm used to just hitting the button and it, flinging the ball. But we'll see how it transpires, I guess. We'll see how that deals with everything. We'll see as far as like alley-oops go. We'll see how that transpires into the game and things like that. But I don't know for sure yet. So we'll just relax until we decide to go into more detail on that. So let's go into the shooting now. This is one of the aspects they said they had worked on crazy as far as 2K goes. One thing that needs to be noted is that the shot meter will not be under you anymore, like how it was in the game. So if we have like our circle, usually the shot meter was under here. It's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be on the side. So I don't know if I like that. They're doing it kind of NBA Live style. I don't know if I like that. I kind of liked the shot meter underneath us, but we'll see if I just grow it, if we grow to it or not. Green releases are still in the game. They're still there. We can still get green lights, all that stuff. But one of the other cool features that they put in is you can change the color. So instead of being, green, you can have blue, you can have red, you can have orange, you can have yellow, like whatever you want. I'm probably gonna make mine yellow because I like the brightness to know that I got it, So we'll see, but I think that's a really cool feature. So apparently, he says the coolest thing about this part of the game is the shot feedback meter that tells you how accurate you were on your release and how well defended you were. So he listed it here. Every shot, you'll see a small box near the top of the screen that tells you if your release was very late, good, very good, or excellent, which is green. So you get those 5 different ratings for your release on your shot. And then also, right next to it, it tells you whether you were smothered, heavily contested, open, or wide open. That is cool. I like that because now we can actually see what they did is they took a jump shot, right? They took a jump shot and they broke it down into aspects. So they broke it down into release timing, how well your release was, and how open you were. And they put all that into their own little section in the game. And then they broke it down and they put it all in these little boxes for you. So you're going to have one thing that tells you maybe if you get a green light, you're going to see excellent release or release excellent. And then you're going to also see another little box that said maybe you were contested or maybe you were heavily contested. You're going to see another box that comes up here and it says smothered. And that's awesome. It tells you how well defended you were and how open the shot was. That's insane to me. I think that's one of the coolest features I'm going to see in 2K18. Cannot wait for that. Cannot wait for that. Let's see what else he said here. He said there are still times when it seems as if a player should make a shot and he still misses the shot. So we're still gonna see shots that maybe a wide open 3 with a very good release and yet they don't go in. It still happens. It happens. Another thing is also they are taking away the layup meter. Layup meter is gone, which I appreciate because I hated timing my layups. There's no reason we should be coming down the court on a wide open fast break and we go to take a layup and we have to time it and we don't time it right and we miss the layup. Should not happen unless you're Brandon Knight. But for real, this should not happen. I'm glad that's gone. I'm glad that's out of the game. Let's see. He said overall he loved the more balanced shooting percentages. He didn't shoot over 50% from the field as a team in any game, and his highest 3-point percentage was 36%. That is insane. That is the most realistic stat line I've heard as far as a 2K game. And these guys are, they're playing on difficulties that we'd be playing on. So they're playing on Superstar, Hall of Fame, and they're only shooting under 50% from the field and under 40% from the 3-point line. That's insane. This is going to be one of the most realistic games as far as these guys are telling us right now. So, bro, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to dive into my team again. I'm probably going to dive into Play Now Online, honestly. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so there's new animations of the game. He said there are way too many new animations to count. He said rebounding battles was a big one. Guys fight over the ball now, even when it's a dead ball and things like that. They still fight over it. He said the strength rating is going to be far more important this year, as far as rebounding goes, and he said that when backing down opponents and things like that as a big man and you have more strength, it is easily noticeable because you're going to win those back down battles every time. So strength is going to be a big concept. So if you guys are slashers or if you're big men, make sure you upgrade that strength this year because it's going to pay dividends. Even in the park, probably. Even in the park, I guarantee it. He said that fouls kind of need to be turned down a little bit. Going to the line was pretty balanced, but as far as jump shooters, when we're coming up behind them to block a shot, he said usually every time that was a whistle, and it needs to be tuned. So that's another thing. We just need to pay attention to that. Hopefully they tune that down. And lastly, we're going to the player models, and I took some pictures from Twitter. I couldn't really get the full screen ones. I could have on my phone, but I didn't. I was lazy. I didn't have the time. But so I took the images from Twitter. These are just some of the screenshots. There's a lot more to go check out, like Victor Oladipo's one. So far, my favorite player model comparison, Gordon Hayward, man. He looks amazing. They're doing a great job. This is one of the best looking 2K screenshots I've seen in a long time. And he said that a lot of the players that needed to be like toned down or like skinny, you know, they did a good job with that. He said players like Derrick Rose and D Wade might have been a little too skinny, but other than that, they look great. The player models look great. Face scans have been improved this year. We saw nothing about hairstyles or anything like that yet, so we still have to wait for information on that. But hopefully they come out with something like that soon. But honestly, this is just by screenshots, it looks amazing. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. But he said, yeah, by far it is the best looking ever. The face scans were incredible. He said every rookie he played with looked outstanding, without question the best looking 2K ever. He also said that to keep in mind that all this information, and I talked to my buddy about this because he was like, oh, this is what we're getting? Like, this is what we're getting? I was like, no, keep in mind, this is not the final build. This was a beta test. This was, you know, they have it built to a point where it's playable. You can play this game and be fine. But throughout the next month, they're just going to be tweaking things now. They got their feedback. They got what they needed. Now they're going to go in, tweak everything, probably tweak some player models, some defense, some passing, things like that, and then they will finally make the final build, and that will be released. But yeah, so just keep in mind this isn't the full build yet. But I am very excited. I cannot wait till September. My GameStop that I pre-ordered at is not going to be doing a midnight release anymore. Apparently they didn't sell enough copies, or no, it's not that. They don't have enough workers, so they're just not going to do it. But they are releasing it at 9 p.m. on the 14th. So I will be going to get it then, and then I will be coming home and streaming the shit out of it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know your opinions on some of the stuff that they left, your opinions on the screenshots, things like that. Your favorite screenshot. I want to know who your favorite player is so far in the game. But leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Join the Astroduct Army today because I got a lot of 2K coming out in the future. And thank you guys for watching. I'm out.